Topping our stories right now on ANF Plus, crowds turned out to pay their respects today to a man killed by a city truck just last month that was clearing a homeless encampment. This is a story that we've been reporting to you here on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus. The public viewing for Cornelius Taylor was at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Willie A. Watkins Funeral Home. And Taylor's funeral will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Now, the Atlanta City Council will now consider a resolution to ban using heavy equipment to clear homeless encampments following his death. The police report does list Taylor's cause of death as a suspected drug overdose, but lawyers for Taylor's family say the medical examiner also found evidence that Taylor was run over by a heavy piece of machinery as well. So obviously a lot of attention on this issue. And again, you know, Cornelius Taylor was remembered today and is going to be remembered at his funeral tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Okay, now to another story that we're following out of Cherokee County. You know, a lot of attention on this matter. Families and Cherokee County leaders they disagree on the future of a property that's near a school. Atlanta News First reporter Adam Murphy learns why some are so upset about this proposed development.
I'm inside the Cherokee County Administration Complex, and this is where county leaders and residents intend to come together in a few weeks to hash out their differences about a proposed commercial development in a rural part of the community.
Squirrel is 27 years old, so he's a spring chicken.
There is nothing more peaceful for Cindy Jaffe than this. She's been living on a small farm in Cherokee County for more than 20 years, but now she fears that a proposed commercial development nearby could steal her serenity.
How do you make 25,000 square foot buildings fit the look and feel of a residential community?
The property in question is located on Union Hill Road near East Cherokee Drive, right next to Avery Elementary School.
This property is 7.45 acres located at 7658 Union Hill Road in District 1.
According to county commissioners, a developer hopes to rezone the area and build two massive medical office buildings. Commissioner Steve West said, quote, "It's inevitable that this piece will be developed, and we want to make sure it's a lesser intense use with agricultural design that fits the character of the area and sets a precedent for this area," end quote.
Well, this is a residential area. It's zoned agricultural. It's been zoned agricultural for years.
Initially, the county's planning commission voted against rezoning the property for commercial use. So many residents proposed that homes be built on the property to limit potential traffic and safety issues.
All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Nay. I think that's 4-1. The motion passes.
The Board of Commissioners decided to table the issue in hopes of finding common ground.
Whatever is decided for that corner will impact the look and feel of this community as a whole.
The Cherokee County Board of Commissioners will hold a public hearing on this matter on Tuesday, February 18th at 6 p.m. inside this administrative complex on Bluffs Parkway. They intend for both sides to weigh in. In Canton, Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
You know, one Metro Atlanta family is rejoicing after a lost videotape was found in a rental car of all places. Atlanta News First reporter Josh Skinner has the story of the family, hockey, and a legacy.
Blink, and you might lose him. Which is exactly what 12-year-old Thomas Wallace wants.
Like the fast speed.
Thomas plays for the traveling 12U AA Atlanta Ice Bandits.
We spend a lot of time in the car and a lot of time in the hockey rinks.
His mother, Sherry, relishes in his play. Because Thomas's father never could.
I was 3 years old when he died to brain cancer.
Thomas Wallace Sr. was an avid hockey player at St. John's High in Massachusetts. After his death, when Thomas was 3, they moved to Metro Atlanta to be near family.
I never saw Tom play. Thomas never saw him play.
But at a tournament in Boston last November, one of Thomas Sr.'s teammates came to watch Junior and handed his mom a lens to the past.
One of the tapes that they played in the state championship game together.
One lone video. Sherry decided to surprise Thomas Jr. for Christmas. But when she got back to Georgia,
I realized that I had left it in the rental car. It was absolute sheer panic.
Sherry contacted the rental company Hertz, filled out forms, blew up phones, but to no avail. The family decided to pull the goalie and called our CBS affiliate in Boston. The tape was found and Christmas saved. Hertz even threw in an autographed Charlie McAvoy jersey. We dissected the video together. How old was he here?
Probably like 17.
And watched Thomas Sr. dissect the defense.
They're right between two guys. Boom, three guys.
He looks so much like him, which is a gift, but it's also really hard.
And even though Thomas Sr. is not here, Junior is following his skates. Maybe even back to Boston.
Just be like my dad and just make it to a good college.
On the ice, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
And you know what? Tonight is music's biggest night. It is the Grammys. So this year, Andre 3000, Beyonce, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Jacob Collier, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Taylor Swift, all up for Album of the Year. This is the Queen Bee's 5th time nominated for the award that she's actually never won, despite having the most Grammys of any artist. Here's what an expert thinks.
For a record like this to win, I almost feel like it would be more on the merits of Beyonce deserving it and who Beyonce is as an artist. I think Charlie XCX is going to get a lot of awards. She may not get some of the top ones. We've been saying around the office it's possible that Chappell Roan could sweep. You know, she has that level of popularity and cultural influence.
And you can watch the 67th Grammy Awards only on Atlanta News First at 8 o'clock tonight. And you know what? It is Groundhog Day. I know our weather team knows this very well.
It's Groundhog Day, and maybe life is on a loop, so I'm headed back down. There's a shadow up here. Get ready for 6 more weeks of winter this year.
Well, you heard him say it. He said, get ready for 6 more weeks of winter. That is Punxsutawney Phil up in, in Pennsylvania. Apparently saw a shadow, predicting there will, in fact, be 6 more weeks of winter. And our own groundhog in Jackson, Georgia, General Beauregard Lee, also predicting 6 more weeks of winter as well. Here we have First Alert meteorologist J.G. Disharoon. What do you think? Because you're actually, trained as a forecaster to do a better job than these guys, and I think you're going to give us a little better forecast.
Yeah, and it's not surprising they both saw the same thing and had the exact same forecast, because really what's controlling our weather right now is what's controlling the weather in Pennsylvania as well, which is a high pressure system off the East Coast. It's giving us these beautiful crystal clear skies out there, and that's what we're really going to be seeing as we go throughout the next several days. So if Phil wouldn't have seen his shadow this morning, or General Lee either, then I kind of would have been wondering what they were doing, because it's kind of hard not to. You can see outside right now, we're looking at 67 degrees here in Atlanta. That's 3 degrees warmer than what we saw just this time yesterday. And we're going to continue to see that warmth build in as we go throughout the next several days. So a beautiful forecast for you as we go through not only today and tomorrow, but really on into the majority of next week as well. Meanwhile, our temperatures are going to continue to climb, and all of that because we have high pressure that's going to be building in, not from the northeast, which is what we saw this weekend, but from the south. So enjoy and take that patio brunch if you get the chance. Next Monday, Tuesday, really all week long, as most of our rain chances are going to be on the lower end in the back half of the weekend, mainly overnight. Taking a look outdoors right now, obviously 67 in Atlanta, 66 in Carrollton, 69 in LaGrange. We're looking at 59 in Blairsville, same for folks over into LJ. So obviously, the North Georgia mountains a little bit on the cooler side there, as to be expected when you get into those higher elevations, but it's also because we have that high pressure up into New England. I'll show you the map in a moment, which kind of shows you why those temperatures off to our northeast are cooler. Notice Gainesville, 62. So really, the farther north and east you go into the state, the cooler those temperatures get. Meanwhile, tonight, everybody's going to get a little on the cooler side. You want that jacket as you make your way out for tomorrow morning. And temperatures in the city are going to be around the mid-40s. By the time we get into the afternoon, though, warming up quite nicely. Folks in the suburbs, we do expect to see temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. The other thing we want to mention is if you live around any creeks, streams, rivers, lakes, anything that typically will get you that morning fog when we have those conditions that are set just right, do expect to see that as we go through the next several mornings. Everything's kind of coming together with light winds and clear skies, combined with that moisture from those bodies of water, could give you a little bit of a headache if you're going to be trying to drive into the office before it all burns off. Probably around the 9 o'clock hour in the morning. Now, by the afternoon, obviously, lots of sunshine. So here's what I've been talking about. High pressure system today, and really pretty much the last several days, has been over the Northeast, and it's moving out into the North Atlantic. Now, we're kind of on the back, or the front side of the high, I should say. So it's really pulling all of this moisture down the back side of the Appalachians and filtering it in to our area, because the Appalachians, even though they're not super high in terms of, you know, how high the atmosphere is, it is enough for that cooler air, which is denser, to kind of slide down and block it from spreading out into the Midwest. And that's one of the reasons we're seeing those cooler temperatures, relatively speaking, because we are well above average across the state today. But as we go into the next several days, that system pulls out, and we have a new high pressure system that's going to be developing into the Gulf of Mexico. And as that moves into the southeast, we're going to start to see that southerly wind kick in, and that's going to give us even warmer temperatures as we go in through the next several days. In fact, we're going to notice those high temperatures in the 70s, maybe even mid to upper 70s, and the potential for several record highs as we go through next weekend to be broken, not even broken by a little bit, but broken by a lot. The other thing is, this type of system really allows our weather to remain relatively calm. So even though we do have rain chances coming in during the back half of the week, as long as this high pressure is in place, it's going to help to steer most of that moisture around us. Now, it looks like by the time we get in towards Friday, maybe Thursday night, we could see enough of a breakdown of that high to allow a weak system to come in and give us the potential for some moisture. So here's the timing on that. You notice by 9 a.m. Thursday, maybe a few isolated showers out there, that cold front back out towards the west, spanning from Texas all the way up in towards Tennessee and then into the Midwest. That will slowly push to the south. So by the time we get into the evening hours, rain chances trying to move into the area. But again, that high is helping to block a lot of that moisture from making it through. So even though folks in Tennessee, the North Carolina area, the Virginias, up into Kentucky have a much better chance of rain than we do, unless that high decides to kind of move out or weaken, most of this rain is going to try and fizzle out as it pushes through North Georgia. Now, the front will make it through. It's just not going to bring a lot of rain with it. And even behind that front, it'll knock the temperatures down a few degrees, but otherwise, not by much. I mean, take a look. So once the front moves through, 77 on Thursday turns into 74 on Friday. So it's not a big change there. And then really, other than that, rain chances are on the lower end. We don't have any first alert weather days as we go through the next 7 days. So we're getting a nice break from that. We're also getting a nice break from the absolute bitterly cold air we saw back in January. Now, I don't want you to get too used to this. So this is where I kind of agree with the groundhog just a little bit, because winter's not over yet. We are starting to see some signals in the longer term pattern that after this week, we're going to start to return to a little cooler pattern. And that's because we're going to get things in the atmosphere to start lining up. Remember how we have the high over us now that's helping to give us the warmth? That's going to move out. And as it does so, it's going to allow some of that colder air to dive in from the plains and even into Canada. And that's going to help to bring us back towards average, maybe even below average, as we get towards your Valentine's Day forecast. So my real recommendation for you is to just enjoy this weather while you can. So we'll walk you through it. Monday, 71. That's actually the coolest day on that 7-day forecast. And to put that in perspective, it's a good 15 degrees above average for this time of year. By the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, 76, 77 on Thursday, that's 20 degrees above average for this time of year. And even the morning lows, our average low is 36. We're talking lows near 56 on Wednesday. 58 on Thursday, almost 25 degrees above average with that rain moving through on Friday morning. And then again, once the front pushes through, we're going to be noticing not a big change. In fact, by the time we get into next weekend, you'll see those temperatures still in the low to mid 70s with mornings in the upper 50s. This is a pattern that is more reminiscent of late March into early April than it is the dead of winter in January. So again, just enjoy it while you can. And I don't think it's going to be lasting too much longer once we get past this weekend. Again, you can get all of this information on your Atlanta News First Alert Weather app. We'll update it daily with your local forecast and bring you any updates as they come in.